everyone, welcome back. It is Monday, the 4th of May, and as you probably all know by now, we got good news that you all can go back to work on Thursday. So I have a few things. You will be getting, if you haven't already gotten it, actually, I think it came out Saturday, some guidelines from the Michigan Realtors, and we have started to get stuff from the Grand Rapids Association of Realtors. We will be sharing the executive order with you if you haven't already seen it. I think it was actually posted on the Facebook page the other day. So with all of that, it's time to get back to work. No more play. That's good news. We will be creating a document that is best practices in this environment. We're going to share with you what we as a company feel is the right thing for you to be doing out there in terms of establishing protocol and enforcing protocol with your buyers or your sellers as we move forward. And hopefully that is going to be helpful to you in making sure that there's nothing, there are no violations, because obviously if this thing swings back the other way and we start to see an upsurge, we're going to be back in the same boat that we were. So hopefully everyone will be very conscious of the guidelines and support them and live with them, and maybe we can get back on track here a little for the year. So with that said, we're going to go back to work. Yay. It's a great time. There's really been no better time that I can remember in 30 years or more of doing this to get on the phone and start talking. And I want to share a little story. You know me and my stories. Well, here's another one. I picked up the phone. I happened to see on Facebook one of my friends, former clients, and I've watched their kids grow up for now about 10 years. I helped them sell their house and buy a house in Forest Hills. It was very nice. And I hadn't talked to him in a while, even though on Facebook I'd, comment about, how big the kids are getting or whatever. And I decided to pick up the phone, and I called. I had two numbers in there for them, and I didn't know which one was the wife's number, which one was the husband's number. As it turned out, I reached the wife, and I spoke with her for a while and had a nice conversation. And then a little while later, I got a call from the husband, and he was so nice. He explained that he had gone out on his own, hung up his own shield sign in his for his own business, and he was worried about whether or not this was going to impact him and take him under and all those kinds of things. And then after a while, we got talking about everything else. The kids, what they're doing, what they're involved in. And it was a really nice conversation. We didn't even talk about real estate, and that was okay. We talked for probably 20, 25, 30 minutes, and I hung up the phone. I thought, that was really a nice conversation. I didn't talk about real estate. Felt good. So I picked up the phone and I called another friend of mine, client who I have done several transactions with. And, he was, he and his wife were very happy living out of state where they were. Or so I thought. And I called and said, hey, just checking in with you, how things out your way? And he said, well, as a matter of fact, funny you should call. And I said, what's funny I should call? Come on. And he said, we don't like it here, and we're going to move back. Will you help us find a condo? Oh, no, I couldn't do that. Yes, of course I can help you find a condo. So there are a lot of reasons to call people right now. One, the biggest one is you're back in business. Everybody needs to know it. If they don't know the realtors are back in business, we're not going to see houses coming onto the market. We're not going to see buyers coming out of the woodwork. So let everyone know. I would encourage you to get out and start making phone calls. I've been doing that all along throughout this, but now's the time. Greg posted something the other day about calling people to tell them that the interest rates are incredibly low, and maybe it's a good time to consider buying a new house or refinancing. Actually, didn't even say go that far, just to give them a piece of information. And I think that's a great reason to call. Obviously, calling to find out if they're thinking of buying or selling is always good. But just to check on them, just say, hey, how are you doing through all of this? I think that you will find welcome ears, whereas maybe in another time they would have gone, oh, this is just a real estate call. But now it's a little bit different. Now we actually have a reason to reach out and share a little bit socially with one another, since we've all been so deprived of that over the last a couple of months. So I want to challenge everybody. Hi, everyone. I see your little notes there, so welcome. I want to challenge everybody. Over the course of the next 2 weeks, I want you to promise me that you're going to make 25 calls a day. 25 calls a day. And before you pick up the phone and call to say, what am I going to do about this or that or something else, make your 25 calls. See what happens. And they don't have to be salesy calls. They can be, hi, how are the kids? Gosh, they're looking really, really big since I saw them last 15 years ago. Just reach out and say hello. I think there are a lot of folks out there who are lonely. I mean, we've been separated from one another for a long time. I know that Melinda is going to have a Zoom meeting tonight at 6 o'clock. I think it's to do a little bit of celebrating and so on. So I encourage you all to join in the fun that she's going to provide in that in Zoom meeting. We are going to be having a Zoom meeting between the management, between the staff and the management tomorrow, so that we can put together some sort of guiding document for you in terms of best practices and so on. I really don't have a lot to say other than it's time to get back to work, and I mean that sincerely. There's no excuse. There's at this point, I've heard all of them. We're not in that market. Sellers don't want to list their house until this thing is over. Buyers don't want to buy until this is over. Well, right now, for all intents and purposes, for us, we have the ability to go out and work again under restrictions, which again I encourage everyone to follow. But there's no excuse now not to get back to work and start generating some income. Let me throw another idea out, and I'll just share it with you. There are a lot of your fellow real estate agents out there who are equally challenged by the events of the last month and a half, and maybe they'd like to come to a company that has the kind of guidance and leadership that you've experienced with 5-Star over the last 8 weeks here. As you know, all of our staff, particularly Paul and Eric, Kim Greg and myself, we've all tried to get the news to you as quickly as possible and to keep you abreast as best we can of all of the events going on. There are some questions as to whether or not there's going to be a indemnification form created, as we had for the inspectors to allow buyers to visit during the inspection. And I will tell you that we're not sure on that right now. We're going to talk with it. Excuse me. We're going to talk about it. As a management group, we're going to bring our attorneys in to get their opinions, and we'll let you know. There are two sides of that argument. One is that with the order being lifted, there's really no need for it. The other is just a precautionary position. So, who's got questions out there? I can't imagine that nobody has questions today. I'm looking. Who's got questions? Anyone? Hi, Lisa, Melinda, Mary, Diana. Yay. So the indemnification question, best practices, issues about unemployment. I know that I spoke with Eric this morning. We're going to be in touch with our unemployment folks to find out what's going to happen as moving forward in terms of, when you can file, what weeks you can file for unemployment and which ones you can't, and so on. So again, we're going to keep continuing to provide information to you as fast as we know what the information is, and we haven't had an opportunity to sort of dig down in it and figure it out and share that information with you in a meaningful way. So here we are, ready to go, and I'll stay here for a couple of minutes. Just in case there are no open, hey, Kim, no open houses are allowed per the executive order. That's correct. Have real estate photographers, Diana, good question. Have real estate photographers been made essential? Not to my knowledge, they have not been made essential. However, it does give you the opportunity to get out and take those photographs or videos and load them yourself in the interim. This morning, my seller brought up she wants to have proof buyers are pre-qualified to buy before coming into her owner-occupied home. A good point. I think in this environment, under these circumstances, I certainly would agree to that, support that. So how do you do that? You may want to check with your board, but I believe you can make as part of the listing contract that before setting up a showing, a buyer's agent must provide the pre-qualification letter for their buyers. Again, it's going to be different on every board, so check with your board to make sure that that is permissible, and I would continue to do that. I would completely support that. Residential rentals are not available for tours yet. Is that correct? Tim, let me get Eric to weigh in on that if he's nearby, and maybe he might not be. I'm not 100% sure on that. I know that commercial is not permitted, but does a residential rental, is that considered commercial, or is it considered residential? Let's check on that answer and make sure we have the right one for you. Should we have buyers sign a hold harmless if we have showings lined up for Thursday and Friday? I usually get those signed at the time of the purchase agreement and offer. To be honest, I would rather hold harmless. I'm assuming in regard to the indemnifying the brokers who are showing the home and allowing showings on the house. I'm presuming that that's the hold harmless that you're referring to. In my opinion, and again, we're going to have that conversation between Greg and Paul, Eric and myself and Kim to make sure we have the right answer. We may bring in Gail Anderson or Pat Drucke for their opinion. We don't know if right at this moment whether an indemnification form is necessary. I don't know that a hold harmless, the way it's worded, would apply, but we'll have an answer for you very quickly within 24 hours, I hope. No later than 48, that's for sure. Okay, just a moment. Got to get rid of something here. It popped up. Let's see. Okay, Kim is saying any showings, inspections, appraisals, photography or videography, or final walkthroughs must be performed by appointment and must be limited to no more than 4 people on the property. No in-person open houses are permitted. So according to Kim, it appears that I presume that if the agent is there, a photographer or videographer may be allowed through. Is that right? Am I understanding that, Kim? Because I didn't see in the EO that photographers and videographers were specifically permitted. Can you clarify here with a comment, if you would? Okay. We'll wait for that answer. Again, as we always do, please feel free to post here any additional questions you have. We're going to get information to you as quickly as we can. We want to make sure, though, that before we start giving you the information, the best practices to operate within, we want to make sure that it's the right answer. So forgive us if we don't have all the answers today, but we want to make sure that they are the right ones for you. Again, here we are, ready to go. It's time. Let's see. Okay. This is copied from the E&O. Okay. If an appraiser can go or inspector, then can videos. I guess let's talk about that, Kim, and make sure that we're all on the same page and giving the information before we move forward on that. So again, we're going to be having this meeting today and tomorrow. So we'll cover these questions and make sure that you get the right answers from us. And I encourage you to join Melinda tonight at 6 o'clock for her Mondays with Melinda. It's a Zoom, and it should be fun, I think. So again, glad you joined. See you next week.